The first time I dreamt in English, I woke up crying.
I'm still in Africa. Home is where I wanna be. Africa.
How many languages do you speak now, bro, Hugh?
Well, I take a chance on over 20.
Whoa.
I take a chance, you know, like, I mean, greetings and slangs and stuff like that. And then I learned Pidgin when I lived in West Africa. And I actually learned it through Fela, who introduced me to Nigeria and to West Africa. And wherever I've been, I've tried to immerse myself in the people, not so much the culture, the people. I hung out mostly with African Americans in the States, although you'll never hear me trying an American accent here, you know. And but I can. I mean,
can you pull it off though?
I can get down like a, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah. I think my biggest problem was that by the time I was 15, 16, I was an alcoholic. But in South Africa, Africans were not allowed to drink until 1961. So when I grew up in the 40s and 50s, drinking was part of township culture. I was born in a shebeen and started working, you know, the shebeen backyard. And people were respected for drinking. When you were a good drinker, people would say, see, that girl, Millie, she can drink, man. But I could outdrink everybody, and so I was respected for drinking. But I didn't realize what a deep hole I'd been in. When I got to the States and when I hit it, I became known in my early 20s, and was a time of flower power and the love generation. And we took LSD like for breakfast. So addiction was a major, major obstacle. I think I would have gone much further. I probably wouldn't have known as much as I know, but I would have gone much further.
Home is where I wanna be. Africa.
I was so restless from the time I was a child. So I was always getting advice, one kind of advice or the other. And I never really heard, because all I could hear was music. And if I had taken advice, I probably wouldn't have gotten where I got to. And I think you have to follow your own muse as long as you don't hurt anybody. You know, the best advice I ever got was from Sidney Poitier. Because he said, well, be cool. And I said, that's it. He said, yeah, be cool. I mean, look at me. I said, okay. Then afterwards, when he left, I said, how am I going to be cool? I'm so wild, you know? And so I rather took chances with myself and found out that I didn't want to be like anybody else. I think that's the biggest advice I give anybody is like, don't try and be like somebody else because you can't. If you go into a field because you want to become famous, then you're already on the wrong track. You know what I mean? And I think that if you love anything, then you learn the craft. You learn the craft, try and be the best at whatever you touch, whether you're an entertainment lawyer or a roadie or an engineer, but try to be the best at it. And if you're playing instruments, try and be good at it. Be great at the instrument. If people haven't told you that you got it, ordinary people, when they listen to you, then you're forcing your way in. You know what I mean? Because if you're good, people will say, damn, you're good, you know? And if like 2-3 years go by and they're not saying that, then you should change professions. Yeah.
Maybe it's time to stop.
But if you think you got it and people say you got it, practice, right? You have to work on your craft. If you have the will to go that far. That's why I say you have to sharpen your hustle. In the arts or in anything in the world, talent is not enough and desire is not enough. You have to have a hustle. You have to hustle your shit, man, until they say, if you come back again, we're going to shoot you. The main thing is that we have to stop being so afraid of our past. Everybody's history has dirt in it, but our history also has a lot of glory. And you also have to remember that we civilized the world. So everything started in Africa. And we should be curious about that. It's something we should be proud about, you know. What it is that we have to have a social will to want to know where we're coming from without stopping where we want to go. Because I think the biggest fear is that we'll contaminate ourselves socially, or if we go back to the past. We have to stop isolating ourselves from and believing in the borders, because that's one of our biggest problems, that we really actually believe in these borders that were only like put there in 1886. When I grew up, all the people who worked in the mines, even South Africans, were immigrants where they were working. That's why they were called migrant labor. And when their term of employment, if you can call it employment at all, when it was finished, they had to go to where they came from. The people who worked in the mines lived in single men's hostels and compounds, and they were not allowed to socialize with us, the urban Africans, who were also underfoot, but they made us think that we were more superior than those people. And then they made the mixed race people think that they're more superior than us, and they were even like play whites. The first secret, I think, is in bridging that gap between modern life and technology and the aged, because that's what Africa has lost. That's what Africa has lost, and I think it's not incumbent upon today's young people to do it, but if they made that a major goal, I think it would be the greatest element for the recovery of Africa. But practically, a heritage restoration society formed by African youth would be invaluable to the future of this continent.